In this video, we are about to dive into the wildest, weirdest, and the most wonderful invention to ever roll, float, and possibly fly out of Africa. Straight from the bustling, never boring streets of Lagos, Nigeria, comes a story so outrageous it makes Elon Musk's Cybertruck look like a plastic toy. Behold, the Amphibious Jet Car, the brainchild of none other than Obasanjo, or as his neighbors like to call him, the mad engineer.
The countries where these things are adopted. Robot productions, yes, these are boosted a lot of.
This isn't your ordinary car, plane, or boat. This is a 3-in-1 bundle of ambition, confusion, and the kind of genius only desperation and imagination can create. Now, the concept is simple. Build one vehicle that can drive on land, skim across water, and soar through the skies. Sounds like a James Bond wet dream, right? Except this version comes fully loaded with scrap metal, office furniture, and a computer keyboard for a dashboard, and a prayer.
Okay, can you explain how this thing works?
When you want to move, you activate through the starting code. Then, when you move, especially when you're on the sea, you use digital jar system on it. And when it's moving, it moves on the sea with aerodynamics, with the use of the propeller.
Okay, the propeller, is it on the
turbine at the back?
Okay.
No, the suspended one, the two suspended.
Okay, let me just try
suspended
to.
Propeller at the back. So you can see.
Now, this creation has been tested severally on the roads and all that on land, but it was only tested once on water, and this is how it went down.
Now we drive it on this sea, not on canal again, it's on the sea now. You can see the sea. And you can see the Third Mainland Bridge, the longest bridge in Africa. Yes, you can see it. I'm going to drive it there. You are going to see it. I'll move it. I'll move it perfectly. You don't see.
As the propeller spins into action, sometimes with the help of a manual spin from a brave volunteer, the jet crawls forward, much to the crowd's belief. The sight of it moving, even if it's at walking speed, feels like witnessing a miracle, a cross between Moses parting the Red Sea and a glitch in the Matrix. I mean, first of all, this is the first hovercraft in Africa. The first ever made hovercraft in Africa. And you can't help but hear how it's kind of struggling. Because if you look closely, that's a motorcycle exhaust pipe. So basically, Obasanjo is also powering his creation using a motorcycle engine. You know, I can't help but wonder, when Obasanjo is landing, maybe let's say in fast moving motion, are these tubes enough to hold that kind of, pressure and friction? Will they be able to hold? I also can't help but wonder, when it comes to taking off and going to the sky and stratosphere and all that, where will he be taking off? Will he be taking off from water, looking like this? Yeah. And when it comes to landing from the air, will he be landing on water? What do you think? Leave a comment down below, because and the engineers or people or inventors in the comments, please tell us the physics, or how is he supposed to land it, or where is he supposed to land it, and if he's landing, are those tubes going to be able to hold the pressure and the friction? Because in my opinion, I don't think these tubes will be able to do that. I think it requires some sort of, strong floating materials, right? But you have to understand that also Obasanjo was using what he had, and that was scraps.
Hello, Mr. Kenny. Looking at what you have done, it's a marvelous thing. We watch you move and we see you move, and we are proud of you.
Picture this. 3 tires you might find on, let's say, an overworked wheelbarrow, bolted together into a metallic frame so thin you think it was designed by a dieting welder. The seats, not some cushy, leather-wrapped racing seats. No, sir. Here we deal with office chairs, complete with armrests and that nice squeaky sound every time you lean back. Because, of course, comfort is key when you might be launching into the stratosphere at any moment. And the thing about these seats, especially the office seat, where the pilot sits at, it's a rotating seat, exactly like this one. So this plane is full of surprises, because have you ever seen a pilot riding on a seat that rotates? Just like, I mean, it's crazy. A rotating seat. Talk about comfort and not safety. Because how can a rotating seat be safe, especially when you're on a plane or on a boat? And the control system? Forget the futuristic cockpit you'd expect from a flying machine. Obasanjo's vehicle boasts a full onboard computer keyboard. The same one that you'd use to Google how to survive a car crash. You know, it's like, just imagine pressing F1 to deploy wings, or Control plus Delete to start the engine. Can't help but imagine when he's launching his rockets, as we see here, which I think they are just your normal fireworks. Maybe he's pressing space on the keyboard and it's supposed to launch like some kind of missiles, you know. And maybe the keyboard is also the one that is supposed to be used, you know. Maybe let's say it's on manual mode. Maybe when he wants to control it using the keyboard is now like the autopilot, or the most like an advanced version of autopilot. It's like a game. It's like a game to this engineer.
That is a kind of amphibious attack in a war situation. That tells you what Nigerians can do. This is just an individual. He's firing into the sky. That's a technology that is new to Nigeria, but a Nigerian has domesticated it and can use it, as we can see now. He's shooting to the air, and he planned this to be an amphibious attack.
And let's not forget the piece de resistance, the propeller, a true marvel of recycling. This thing looks like it came from an old ceiling fan, the kind you might find at your grandma's house in the 80s, strapped on the rear end like a metal exclamation mark. The propeller whispers a promise to push this contraption forward, or at least generate enough air to dry your laundry while waiting for a miracle for it to lift off.
It moves on the sea with the flying engine locally built here in Nigeria. When we talk of the flying engine, we are talking of the propeller plus the drive, the shaft that drive it, and the engine, which is connected to work just like that of flying machine. The lower engine, they're responsible for the movement on land, just like normal car. Then we have the upper one that controls the propeller.
But I'm not sure how it's supposed to be practical when it's mid-flight, you know, because in most planes, and let's not even talk about this plane not even having wings. So how is it supposed to control mid-flight? And have you ever seen a plane that has its propellers at the back? Yeah, because it's understandable. It's understandable because when this vehicle is in water, it's supposedly supposed to turn to a hovercraft. That's understandable. But what about when it's on air? Right? How is it supposed to be controlled when it's on air?
It's designed in this form. That's why you can see it walk easily, perfectly on the sea. And if it's completed, it also moves perfectly in the air. This vehicle you are seeing, this amphibious jet, is calculated to move 120 km per hour on land, 80 km per hour on the sea, and in air it's calculated to move 580 km per hour.
Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the genius mind responsible for all this, Mr. Obasanjo. This man didn't just wake up one day and randomly decided to build the world's first land-air death trap. No, his passion of creation goes way back to his childhood. When other kids were playing with toys, he played with the laws of physics. Because creating such a vehicle requires a mad genius, and mad geniuses begin when they are children. So I can't help but wonder, did Obasanjo begin his genius journey when he was just a kid? Yeah? Because if there was ever an award for stubbornness, Obasanjo would win it, hands down. You have to admire a man who looks at the scrap metal world and sees not trash, but untapped flight potential. Yeah, he sees potential in everything. Let's say like the can that you threw last night. Obasanjo sees something on that can. He can transform it to something. And that's why he's the mad scientist of Lagos. And to make things even more spicier, Obasanjo has gone to university. He's a university graduate. And he's from the University of Lagos. So basically this is a product of the University of Lagos. So basically, University of Lagos, is this the best you can do? Yeah, is this the best, or are this the kind of engineers that you're producing, or the kind of inventors that you're producing?
Yes. These are
Elon Musk might have SpaceX, but does he have a hybrid flying car that doubles as an amphibious vehicle and triples as a metal sculpture? Didn't think so. Because as much as you might mock this vehicle, it's still something. Because sometimes all it takes is an idea. And I think that's exactly what Obasanjo has here. What you're witnessing here is an idea. Every nut and bolt on this creation represents the kind of ingenuity textbooks rarely mention. Learning by doing, failing, trying again and again, until success finally agrees to shake your hand.
For Nigerians, and particularly in some part of the country.
So why does the Nigerian jet car matter? Because it reminds us all that even in the most unlikely places, with the most unconventional tools, great ideas can basically take off, or at least roll impressively down the streets until physics decides whether it's ready to fly or not, or ready to move on water or not, or even the road. So the next time you see a rusty bicycle frame or a broken office chair on the side of the road, remember, in the right hands, it may just be the next great African invention waiting to take off.